mostly like the markets, different types of markets. I went to China during February break for an honor orchestra festival, and we basically toured the first 3 days, and then we had the festival for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then toured on Sunday, and then flew home on Monday. Those two symbols mean China.
The language.
The Chinese economy is actually the second largest in the world after the United States, but it is the world's fastest economy. So in maybe a couple of years it will actually exceed the United States. It has average growth rates of 10%, and that's in the past 30 years. It is the largest exporter in the world, exporting $1,577.93 billion per year, and importing $1,394.83 billion per year. It is a capitalistic government, which means that productive forces, labor, production, the body, and the brain, pretty much like so, your thoughts are all kind of controlled by the government in a way, and that sounds really weird, but the government has a lot of power over the people, and through manipulation of advertisements and speeches, they manipulate you in your head. The currency is the RMB, and 1 euro is approximately 9.808 RMB. The government could also be seen as communist, since there is one leader of the Communist Party of China, and that kind of governs the whole entire country of China. Simple facts of China: it's located in Eastern Asia. There are more than 1.3 billion people living in China. It's a single part, and it's the most populous country in the world. It's a single-party state governed by the Communist Party of China, and Hu Jintao is is the president or the leader of the Communist Party in China, and the capital is Beijing, which is located like right there. Yeah, so it's kind of in the northern part of China. I took a lot of pictures when I was in China, and since we're talking about market, I wanted to show you guys some examples of monopolistic competitions in China. This was one of them. It was a lady selling like little toys on the street. Her firm or company is small relative to the size of the industry, but there are a large number of people selling these small balls, not in the same places necessarily, so like spread out all over the city. She was able to act independently because she was just sitting there by herself with the plastic bag of balls. So she was kind of her own firm. This is another example. It was just a pizza vendor, and I'm sure that around Beijing there were a lot of people selling pizzas in the streets. Yeah.
A lot of entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. This is very common at we went to a park one day, and this was very common. There are a bunch of little stands selling these, I don't know what they are, they're cockroaches, I think. Scorpions.
Well, if you don't eat the tail.
And these were all independent little markets, and they could possibly be related to each other, like not related, but like be conjoined, but independent from each other. So they would be standing in different places. So technically, this could also be a perfect competition. But we, as consumer, you don't know that because you don't know if they have friends that are selling the same product across the street. We just see it as a different type of store.
Or if there's just one scorpion vendor
Yeah,
that sells to each stand.
yeah.
Did you eat one?
No.
Frank is hungry.
And this is the same situation. And this is all.
What's that?
That's also the same.
Pringles.
Oh, yeah.
It was just a guy sitting on the Great Wall, selling food, drinks, coffee, and soup. And there were a bunch of little stands like him. So I assume that it's a perfect competition because they're from the same. Yeah. It's just interesting to see all these small little stands that were set up on just the Great Wall. Like, who would have thought? Then the perfect competition was the opposite of the what I saw was there were a bunch of little like firms on the streets that were selling things, and these were actually in stores or firms that actually have a name. The silk shop was a shop, most likely a chain store, so they have a bunch of silk factories around the city. And they had fixed prices, so you weren't allowed to bargain. Like, you could try, but it was very difficult. It was hard, this market was probably hard to enter because you need a verification that it's actual silk, because it's really easy to fix. And the same with the Pearl Market, and with the Jade Factory, and then with the rickshaw market, there were a bunch of rickshaw stands around the city that we saw, and they probably have some sort of link where they talk to each other and set fixed prices about how, if for example 10 people ride the rickshaw, it would be like 100 RMB per person, or just they would set fixed prices. It would be very hard to haggle because it's an actual firm. So, yeah, that's